You know Lana Del Rey, right? The sad girl, the Tumblr queen, the poet who made depression look like a perfume ad. She's been called an industry plant,
Yeah, industry plant.
fake,
Fake.
boring,
Boring.
even anti-feminist.
Anti-feminist.
But there's the thing. Without Lana, half of your favorite artists wouldn't even sound the way they do. She did not just influence a generation, she created an aesthetic. Before Lana Del Rey was draped in old Hollywood sadness and aesthetic, she was Elizabeth Woolridge Grant, a girl from upstate New York who loved writing and wasn't exactly vibing with the suburban life. Her mom was a school teacher, while her dad, Rob Grant, worked in domains and entrepreneurial ventures. By the time she was a teenager, her rebellious behavior wasn't just eyeliner and sad poetry. She was drinking heavily, and not in the cute teenage, let's sneak a wine cooler way. So her parents shipped her off to boarding school to strain things out.
Everyone from home says that you're so cool. Come on, Billy, let's put a board in the school. Everyone from home says that you're so cool. Let's get down with a board in the school. Summertime.
Lana's lyrics and interviews suggest that her family dynamic has been a mix of love, distance, creativity, and personal struggle. She expressed feeling like an outsider or emotionally detached in some family situations. Her relationship with her dad and siblings seems very strong today, as they always support her. But there are traces of emotional tension regarding her mother. In Wildflower Wildfire, she sings, "My father never stepped in when his wife would rage at me." And yeah, that lyric alone tell you everything you need to know about the emotional landscape. This was not a phase. It became her palette. Her sadness wasn't stylized for the aesthetic. The aesthetic came from the sadness.
Just write about what I know. I just want to do something that I can be the best at.
After high school, she moved to NYC to study philosophy. Not pop vocals, not performance, philosophy. Because even back then, she wanted her music to say something bigger. She performed in small clubs under different names: Sparkle Jump Rope Queen, then Lizzie Grant, and eventually Lana Del Rey. And when she finally put out her first album, Lana Del Rey, aka Lizzie Grant, in 2010, no one cared. It was released, vanished, and forgotten. Her label pulled it from iTunes. People literally tried to erase her beginnings, which is ironic because now everyone is trying to find songs from the album. And TikTok is obsessed with her early unreleased songs. Then came video games in 2011. The internet fell in love. Her voice was haunting. The visuals were nostalgic. It was unlike anything out there. While pop was dominated by high energy, polished acts like Lady Gaga, Katy Perry, and Nicki Minaj, Lana Del Rey introduced a moody, cinematic sound. Her vintage aesthetic and slow, haunting vocals stood in stark contrast to the flashy, upbeat mainstream. But instead of celebrating her, critics got nasty. She was accused of being fake, industry manufactured, trying too hard. There was even a Reddit conspiracy theory that she was created by a team of marketing executives. Like, okay, she wrote her own songs, produced her own videos, and had no massive label backing her up at the time, but go off, I guess. And when she performed video games on SNL in 2012, they dragged her so bad you think she committed a crime. Except all she did was stand still and sing in a trembling voice in front of a million people, clearly nervous as it was her first big performance on a big stage. But hey, the world was fine watching pop star lip sync while dancing in latex, just not okay with a girl being authentic and awkward. This performance still haunts her and affects her career till this day. An anonymous Grammy voter reportedly stated, I haven't taken Lana Del Rey seriously as an artist since her infamous SNL performance and never will. This comment surfaced around February 2024 following the Grammy Awards ceremony. The statement was highlighted in discussion about Lana Del Rey's Grammy nominations and her history with awards. People say Lana created a whole new genre, but she has her own idols too. She was obsessed with Elvis, Nina Simone, Marilyn Monroe, old school glamour, sad poets, jazz, blues, hip hop. She wasn't trying to sound cool, she wanted to sound timeless. And you can hear that in her work. Like in Born to Die, you hear cinematic strings, 50s melodies, and trap/hip hop beats, which usually wouldn't work, but with Lana it does. Lana's never really been a part of the industry clique. She's not walking red carpets with pop girls or doing collabs just for numbers. She does have friendships with artists who get her, people like The Weeknd who called her a true gangster and featured her on multiple albums. A$AP Rocky, she had him play JFK in National Anthem. Father John Misty, Courtney Love, Taylor Swift, Billie Eilish, those are her kind of people. The ones who are a little left of center, a little tragic, a little brilliant. Ah, yes, the Lana Del Rey controversies, or as I like to call it, Lana versus the internet, a never ending novella. From getting dragged for glamorizing sadness to the now infamous question for the culture post. Lana has always known how to stir the pot, but with pastel nails and wind machine blowing in slow motion. That post, it was like she hit send on her notes app without reading it. People were not ready for her to name drop Beyonce and Doja and then pivot into a monologue about femininity and books no one asked about. I think the point she wanted to make is valid. It was just not expressed right. And honestly, half of the posts and the comment that Lana makes doesn't make sense the first time you read it. Let's not forget Maskgate 2020. Lana showed up to a book signing in what looks like a glittery fishing net, and the internet just about combusted. But here's the thing, for someone constantly accused of being tone deaf, she has an eerie way of predicting pop culture's emotional climate. She just delivers it through moody harp chords and Instagram captions written like 19th century letters from a fainting couch that no one understands. She didn't follow trends, she made her own 50s and 60s Hollywood glam mixed with sad girl poetry, trap beats, and church choirs. A blonde femme fatale who sounded like she was in love with sadness. She wasn't trying to be relatable. She was painting scenes. Her whole persona was a character, a story. Lana Del Rey is fiction on purpose. Her lyrics, actual literature. She's quoting Walt Whitman 1 second and talking about daddy issues next, and somehow it works. Lana made sadness glamorous. She made stillness powerful. She turned the female gaze into a foggy vintage daydream. Hate her or love her, Lana Del Rey did not ask to be the blueprint. She was just writing poems, made them into songs, and let the world catch up. They made fun of her for being sad, soft, dramatic. But now everyone's doing it. And they're calling themselves geniuses. Lana was never made for trends. She is the trend. Quietly and apologetically just Lana.
This is me.
Whoever's watching. That's a wrap.